such that some of the one-family houses are now being replaced by apartments and large buildings. How does that impact upon what you do?
The single-family homes have been replaced and changed and replaced to the apartments and horizontal regimes, but that does affects what I do, because the clientele sometimes that I work with, they want single-family homes, and the prices sometimes of those are a little higher for them than they would like to pay. So, which means they go out to different areas that are more comfortable. But they speak with the lenders and they let them know exactly, what it is that they will qualify for and go from there.
And most people that attempt to buy a house are serious in reference to doing it. They've given it some thought and tried to find the mortgage that they can afford and other things, and you have the ability to be able to help them in terms of dealing with that. Is that what we're saying?
Yes, I often hear from potential clients who think their credit is too horrible. They think they have a lot of misunderstandings, that you have to have a 750 credit score, that your credit has to be 100% perfect, and that's so not the case. A lot of times they just need to reach out to myself, a realtor, to help them get with the lender, or reach out to a banker at their bank or lender to get that information, because it's not as hard as a lot of people feel like it is. I really love when people come to me and say, I want to buy a house, but I don't think I can. And then I take them, we'll go through the whole process. I get them with my lenders, and I have so many success stories of people just coming to me feeling like they could not do it and got it done, because I walked them through the entire process. And the lender sat there, went through everything with them, and just made it happen for them. So that's a really great feeling.
And so you find that it is possible to accommodate people wherever you are in terms of the house that they would like to buy, and to show them methods whereby they might be able to achieve that purchase. Is that what we're saying?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I pride myself in that. You may not get, you won't live in East Nashville for $200,000 in a 2,000 square foot house, but my goal is to make sure that you get the house that's going to work for you and your family, and be in the price range so that you can grow wealth and not be house rich and can't go on a vacation. I want you to enjoy being a homeowner.
Now, when you go into some of these cities and you talk about first-time home buyers, do you find folks who not only cannot afford it, but wish to sort of combine with others in terms of purchase? You generally sell to single-family owners. Is that what you do? And so you're not involved in any kind of real estate that would bring you in terms of dealing with apartments and other condominiums and et cetera. Is that part of what you do?
Well, I deal with condos as well, and I deal with some investors. I have had brothers and sisters and purchase homes, just because sometimes the prices are a little bit higher than they want to pay. But yes, I do deal with condos. I haven't dealt so much with apartment buildings, but I've dealt with condos.
And so you can almost translate a condominium with a home. Is that the ability? Do you have the ability to do that, or how do you separate what is a condominium from a single-family dwelling? Is there any difference in that?
Yes, there is a huge difference. The single-family home is just a home that's there on its own. Lot. A lot of times you can't have a zero lot, which means you don't have a yard. But a condo is going to have a different HOA. So most single-family homes HOAs range $25 to $50 per month. The condos HOAs have about $140 to $265. I've seen them higher, but that's pretty much the condominium association saying that they will handle everything outside of the house and the roof, and then you handle everything inside. But that's not always communicated. You really have to pull those covenants to know exactly what's covered. So that's why it's important to hire a realtor, so they can pull those covenants for you to let you know exactly what's covered.
When you say pull a covenant, what does that mean?
That means pulling the HOA covenants. It will be a document that will show you everything that is covered within that HOA. And you do the same thing with the house, a normal house as well, that's covered by an HOA.
And so whatever belongs to a buyer is already covered and laid out in a document that you call a HOA. Is that what the purpose of an HOA?
Well, the HOA is just telling you what's required of that neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So in the house in a single family home is just going to say maybe like all mailboxes must be painted black or keep toys out of your yard, just different things like that. Some of them they all have different language, so that's why it's important to know what's expected in your neighborhood.
What you can do in reference to the house that you purchased.
Right.
You can't purchase a house in a neighborhood and start a grocery store and you know, to be sort of heavy-handed in reference to it. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
It has to have a real purpose, and that purpose has to be a dwelling for people who sleep in that house and live in that house or whatever, and et cetera.
Well, and the houses, I don't think they do that so much. You have to live in the house in a single-family home area. In the condos, you do have that covenant. Sometimes it says if you purchase this condo, you have to live in it. You cannot rent it because a certain amount of condos have to be buyers, real buyers, in order for them to receive federal funding. So that does happen with condos.
And so you can't purchase a condo and then rent it out to individuals. Is that what you're saying? Rent it out as apartment buildings to an individuals. Is that what?
You can if the covenant says that, but if it does not, then no. You have to check with the HOA of a condominium before you purchase it to rent it out.
In that particular area, is that what we're saying, which is to say that you might be able to do it in one area because it has already been written in the H?
No, they have to have a certain amount of renters and buyers. So renters and actual people living there to get federal funding. So if they qualify for any form of federal funding, they have to make sure that they have the ratios that they need to get that federal funding.
Now, what would you, over the last few minutes that we have here, a couple of minutes that we have here, what would you advise people who are looking for a home for the first time? What would you advise over the last minute that we have here?
I would advise them to just do it. Stop overthinking it. Contact a mortgage person or contact myself, KFowler, a realtor, to get you to a mortgage person because you want to know what your credit score is. We want to know how to work on it. We want to work with you to figure out your game plan. Everybody has their own game plan, and there's no like one-stop shop to purchasing a home. Everybody has their own thing their own things that they want to do that works for them. So don't try to repair your credit on your own. Contact us. We will go through everything with you, show you what to pay off, what not to pay off, and get you on the road to home ownership. But don't think you're in it by yourself. Contact a professional and go through the process.
Very good. And of course, Ms. Fowler, how would they contact you in reference to this over the last few seconds that we have?
You can contact me by calling 615-300-6274, or you can email me at Kesa, K-E-S-A, Fowler, @yahoo.com, or you could go to www